Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the RacingBet Preview. I'm your host, Tim Geers, joined by Trent Crebbin, as I am each and every week. We're brought to you by winnersbet.com.au this week, Australian owned and operated. So if you are having a bet across the horse racing action this weekend, do so with winnersbet.com.au. Now, Trent, I think we've lost our Facebook stream, so hopefully a few people are tuning in on YouTube and Twitter. We always encounter one or two technical difficulties along the way here. How's things on your end, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Just ticking along nicely. Finished uni the other day, which was good. Hopefully just a bit more time to get stuck into the form and find some winners during the week. No rest.
What's the card at Pakenham look like? This is a notoriously difficult meeting.
Yeah, it is. A few people blowing up about it. I actually thought it was relatively strong compared to recent years. There's decent fields. The fields are all quite decent sized. I think there's quite a few good betting opportunities, to be honest. So, look, the track should play okay. It should be a good 4. Rails true. You might find a few local stings, but other than that, I think it's actually not too bad. So hopefully we can find a few winners.
Very good. Over in Perth, we have Group 1 Kingston Town Classic Day. Of course, the final day of the Tab Touch Masters over here in WA. Final Group 1 of the Carnival. We've also got the Group 3 Scale Stakes. We've got the Listia Classic and the Jungle Dawn Classic as well. So plenty of good racing. Once again, it'll be another good weekend. We're planning on a good 4 at Ascot. The rail's out 8 metres. We look to have an absolute Peters procession in the Group 1. But tell you what, if it was something other than Western Empire going around, it'd be a very boring Group 1. But I suppose him and him alone make this worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome in the railway, wasn't he? He was just completely dominant. And he scared a few off, I think. You don't too often see a non-capacity field for the Kingston Town, I would have thought. So just the 1 3-year-old as well. But, it's hard to see Western Empire getting beaten. He should win it comfortably.
Yeah, he definitely scared a couple of the 3-year-olds off. I think Simon Miller chose not to go this way with... Oh, God, I can't remember the name of his...
Bazoom?
Nah, that's Dan Morton's, but he's probably in the same boat after she got beaten by Search and Rocks the other day. She definitely wasn't going to line up here. I forget the name of Simon Miller's. Yeah, and Treasure Star, she went to the paddock as well. So definitely Western Empire scared them off.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do have one. We've got one which adds probably the only little bit of interest to the race is the fact that Search and Rocks gets in with 50 kilos. It's a working formula. We've seen it in the years gone by that it's worked. Whether she's as good as those, I don't know. The likes of, Arcadia Queen, KC, when she was winning that Kingston Town. Whether she's as good as them, I'm not sure. But as I said, it adds a little bit of intrigue. 50 kilos. Kira, I don't envy what she's been doing over the past couple of weeks. I think Kira was walking around about 56 kilos 3 weeks ago. She's down to 50 kilos tomorrow. So good luck to her. I hope it pays off. But yeah, plenty of good racing. We'll be taking you through our best bets at both Pakenham and Ascot tonight. Trent's got a couple of good value plays at Pakenham. I've just looked through my preview at Ascot and don't have anything sticking out as a value play. All Day Sessions was my best value last weekend. It got held up not the entire straight. Held up half the straight and finished second, beaten about half a length. So that was slightly painful, but probably not as painful as Elite Street running second in the Winterbottom. What graceful girl? What is there a better stable at getting their horses right for the grand finals than Williams? Probably not.
Oh, definitely not in WA. It was a huge one, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, Elite Street had the bleed. He bled out of both nostrils and looked to be travelling just as well. He was travelling as the winner, I thought, just as well as Graceful Girl. So if he doesn't bleed and he runs out the race to his full capacity, I guess it would have been pretty tight. I'm guessing. I don't think there would have been much between them.
Yeah, and I spoke to Bradley Willer after the races and said, "Did you think you were kind of the winner on the turn?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." And then he said, "And 50 meters later, I knew I was in trouble." And that was before everyone knew he bled. And he said to me, basically, he didn't pull up very well. He pulled up very unwell, in fact. So, shame for him. Interesting to see if he can come back from the bleed. And will Chino run last as well after missing the start? It was very interesting tactics during the race, but Dan Morton would have been going in thinking he had basically all the aces up his sleeve, and he's best horses bled and his second best horses run last. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back, Will Chino and Elite Street. Anyway, on to this weekend. We'll start off with your best bet at Pakenham, Trent. And I think this is the last race on the card. Again, this is typically when you save your best till last. And you're going with horse number 5, Kissinger, currently $2.50 with winnersbet.com.au. And you sent this out as an early play to the premium Discord group at around $3.30, I think. So he's already been very well backed in early markets.
Yeah, he has. Kind of glad we got in early there. Look, I think he's clearly the horse to beat. I was with him last start at double figures, and he was really well backed. He was backed into about $8 or $9, I think. And was a bit of an unlucky watch. We get it up here at Ballarat. He was 15 up to 2,000. He's in the Lindsay Smith colours in the yellow, just kind of trying to get through there following Silent Sovereign, the grey horse. And look, he wasn't exactly charging to the line, but he doesn't have a lot of room, and he's only beaten just over half a length. And you could make the case that if he kind of gets to the outside, he goes quite close to winning this. Now he's 4th up here, stays at 2,000 metres. I think that should top him off perfectly for this. He drops in grade. That was a really strong benchmark 84 he was taking on last time. Drops to a 78 here, draws really nicely. The claim helps down to 56.5. Just everything sets up for him to be winning here, and no surprise to see him back. So, yeah, I think he's clearly the standout bet on the card. He's going to be very hard to beat.
Very good. My best bet at Ascot is going to come up early in the day. We're going to get the money here on a Ganjimi runner. Horse number 4, Written Matter in race number 3. He's currently $2.50 at the moment as well with winnersbet.com.au. This was him first up, Trent. And this took his record to 3 wins from 4 starts. Now, this is the day that No White Flag missed the start. He was the heavy favourite on this occasion, and he missed the start and had to get bottled up between them, and that just set it up beautifully for something like Written Matter. You can see Island Charm on the wide outside here is a big run from her. No White Flag came out of this race. He jumped better last weekend, went straight to the front with McGrady back on and led all the way. He's a serious horse, and I think this is a fairly good form reference, and I think Written Matter is a pretty good horse as well. So, as I said, 3 wins from 4 starts. He does have to step up to a 72 ratings race after winning in Graduation Company first up, but the stable's flying. He gets a beautiful draw in barrier 6. They're going to go helter-skelter out the front here. We've got Kenny Luck, who basically only knows one speed. We've got Zeeble, who only knows one speed, which is absolutely handlebars down. So they will go quick here, and you've even got the likes of Glasgow Girl, who can go quick as well. So I think Written Matter will just sit back off this hot tempo. I think he's the best horse in the race, and I think he'll win. So that's race number 3, horse number 4, $2.50. We'll lock and load early, get the money, and find some more winners later in the card. All right, something at a bit better of a price. Trent, you're playing 2 horses in race number 6 at Pakenham. These are your best value bets of the day. Race 6, number 9, Defiant Dancer, and horse number 4, Munitions. They're currently $9 and $6.50.
Yeah, I just thought there was a few holes in this market. So start with Defiant Dancer, trained by Philip Stokes, which is always a good sign if you're coming to Pakenham. First up, he ran over 1,000 metres down the straight. I thought he hit the line quite well there. Not really a 1,000-metre horse, so just to see him go through the line was good enough for me. Up to 1,200 suits. Second up record's really strong. He's got 2 wins and a third from 3 starts. He's run really well at group class level. Gets in with 51 kilos here after the claim. He's probably going to maybe get back. He's drawn a little bit awkwardly, but he's really going to be letting rip with that lightweight. Keen to be with him. And the other one, Munitions. I think he's having his 3rd prep now in Australia, and he ran first up down the straight as well, this time over 1,200 metres in a race won by Quantico. That's proved to be a pretty strong form race. They did it in really good time there. Munitions, I thought, stuck on really well, was ran 4th, beaten 3 lengths. And the favourite in this race here is Ranting at $4.20. And Ranting was beaten 12 lengths in that race with no real excuses. Munitions beat him home by 9 lengths, yet Munitions is longer than him in the market here and was only first up. So can't really get my head around that. Pretty keen to take on Ranting and, Defiant Dancer and Munitions for me in race 6.
Beautiful. Let's take a look at the Pakenham Cup first before we get on to the Kingston Town Classic. Although I will mention one race at Ascot that I'm keen to bet in as well, and you'll find this in my preview. I don't have a replay up here, but race number 7, it's a listed Jungle Dawn Classic over 1,400 metres, and I'm pretty keen on horse number 5, She's a Charmer. A lot of these horses ran in the Jungle Mist first up or last start, which is the main lead up for this race, obviously. I think She's a Charmer, well, she probably should have gone close to winning it. Angelic Miss was the horse that won it, but She's a Charmer just basically ran into trouble the entire length of the straight. Prior to that, she ran home really well. I think she finished third to Ulchino, first up over 1,000 metres, which just isn't her go. As I said, went to the 1,200 last start, didn't have any luck, but it's D-Day for her today. Barrier 4, I think she's drawn, gets a lovely run throughout. Any luck whatsoever, I think she'll win this race. So I think $4.20 we're getting at the moment. It's a pretty good bet. Good race. You've got Angelic Miss, Bright Diamond, La Farola beat God Has Chosen first up. Shantalk's always competitive in these sorts of races. And someone pointed out to me on Twitter that Bam's on Fire was a very good run in this sort of company last start. She ran home from last to run fourth. I think that was in the Jungle Mist. So should be some sort of chance as well, but does have to carry top weight. But yeah, I thought She's a Charmer is a really bet here. $4.20, pretty keen to take that. That's race 7, number 5. All right, Pakenham Cup time, Trent. Take us through your thoughts here. I'll try and pull up a market from winnersbet.com.au.
Yes, we've got 14 horses here. I do think the favourite, Smoking Romans, is definitely the horse to beat. He's just so consistent, this guy, for the Mar Eustace. He's effectively third up here. Last start comes out of the Bendigo Cup, beaten 0.1 lengths by Wentwood. Just nailed on the line there. It was a good effort. This is an easier race on paper. Stays on the minimum 54 kilos. Jamie Carr jumps back on. I don't think she's ridden a winner yet in her day back, but
don't think she has.
No doubt that'll change soon. I'm sure she's got a couple of nice rides early in the card tomorrow. So, look, he draws wide here, but I think he's the progressive horse and he's weighted on the minimum. He's definitely the one to beat. I thought of the others at value, you could find number 14, Mimi's Award. I think she's just crying out for 2,500 here. She's had 2 runs, her last 2, over 2,000 and just kind of been getting through the line. Her best win was over 2,500 at Morphettville as a 3-year-old. So she's going to be hitting the line. And best roughie, she's definitely one of mine. But Mosh Music at $51 is, out of form, but her talent is definitely up to a race like this. She's just not racing as well as she can. But $51 is probably not the worst price. So Smoking Romans on top from Mimi's Award, and Mosh Music can maybe throw some value to the exotics or something like that.
You do love Mosh Music, don't you?
She's definitely one of mine. You go back to her form earlier this prep though, like she was only beaten 3.5 lengths by Nonconformist, hitting the line really well, then 4.5 by Grand Promenade. It was just last start in the Bendigo Cup she was quite plain. So if she bounces back to what she was doing earlier this prep, I think she'll run well. It's just you take on trust a little bit there, I think.
You take a lot of these on trust, I think.
Yeah, correct.
A lot of horses at this meeting you take on trust as well, I think. Yeah. Anyway, alas, we get on to the feature event of the day, the Group 1 Kingston Town Classic, and this is Western Empire last start in the railway. Fair to say you had a little bit on these, Trent.
It's a huge one, isn't it? It was all over after about 100 metres, really. He just pretty much lobbed one out, one back, and from there, he just never looked like getting beaten. It was over after, like I said, after 100 metres. Huge win. I don't think any interstate raiders would have been beating him this day. I don't think. I think he's got a fair few horses in Melbourne and Sydney covered. And yeah, it's you can't really see him getting beaten in the Kingston town, can you?
No. And he draws a little bit of a tricky gate, and gate 8, I think he's in. But I'm not sure that's really going to stop him. 8 or 9, one of the two.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at the market as it stands with winnersbet.com.au. You can see Regal Power. He bypassed the Railway Stakes and come straight to the Kingston Town, third up from a spell. He had a trial in between. That's a pretty deliberate tactic from the stable. He's a $6 chance and looks basically the only danger to this favourite, who's now into $1.28. $1.28 for a Group 1. It's just incredible. Search and Rocks down the bottom there, you can see $8.50. We've alluded to her chances as the 3-year-old filly in the race, but yeah, I just don't know I don't even know what price this horse is going to start. He's $1.28. And I was thinking this earlier today, actually, because I actually had a mate text me who said, I'm going to go to the races tomorrow. Have you got any tips? Obviously, except the favourite, which looks too short in the feature. And it kind of got me thinking, like, it almost comes back to that Ayrton situation when he was $1.80 that day in Brisbane. It was like, is that value? Yeah, probably. He probably wins the race more than whatever it is, 63 or 66% of the time. $1.40 for Western Empire is almost value. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you could mark him. You could mark him shorter. It's just whether you have the bank to actually back him and get a decent return out of him. Like, that's the query. If you've got, millions of dollars and you can afford to stake that much on him, then maybe you could look to get a result out of him. But maybe just for you and me,
it won't be.
It makes it a little bit trickier. But what price would you realistically, unload on him? What would really get you to?
If he was $1.50, I'd probably be betting.
Yeah.
Like $1.40. It was just the fact that at $1.40, I thought actually, he probably is value at that price. Like, he's going to win. Watch him come out. Watch him come out and not win now, but look, they've got a bit to make up on him. I think Regal Power it's going to be interesting seeing him, but I think he's obviously had those problems in the past since he won that All-Star Mile. But it would be good to kind of see him make a race of it. But yeah, in all likelihood, they're going to be last and second last from the gates. Kissin' All Four Cheeks, she lines up again. She draws barrier 4. She'll be there or thereabouts in the finish. Search and Rocks will be in the finish somewhere. Notorious one. Platoon actually finished off okay in the railway. I would be including him in, like first fours at 70-1. Too close to some. Third up from the spell up to 1,800 metres is better suited than he was. But yeah, look, this is a serious animal, and he meets a lot of horses that aren't up to this level. Dare say that this, out of the field, there's probably 2 or 3 genuine Group 1 horses. It is a shame that we don't have any interstate runners, but I don't think that'd be changing the result. I think he'd be giving them a good old hiding as well. Anything else to mention out of that race, Trent? That's a pretty short preview of the Kingston Town, but there's not really a whole lot
I
to
think
say.
Searching Rocks is probably. I think Searching Rocks can be the exacta horse. We know how well 3-year-olds run in this race, and she's just got that different form. Like, Western Empire is clearly going to beat everything out of the railway. Nothing can turn the tables. Regal Power, whether he's at his best remains to be seen. Searching Rocks, I think, is the one that can kind of get a good map just behind the leaders and run second. So if you're looking to play an exacta or something, that's the way I'd be doing it.
Yep, fair enough. All right, any other thoughts across the weekend? Any other bets you've had that we should let the listeners into?
My best of the night at Moonee Valley comes up in about 12 minutes. Another one that we took a decent price about in the premium Discord group. I think we backed Savannah Cloud at $3.80. We've got a few small deductions, but nothing major. And he's into $2.45 now, so it looks very hard to beat. It's beaten 7 lengths first up, but it was by Marabi, and he beat the rest of the field quite well. So looks very hard to beat. Hopefully we can get him home in a few minutes.
Beautiful, mate. All right, I think that'll wrap us up for this week. Like I said, best bet at Ascot for me will be race 3, number 4. And what was the other one? Race 7, number 5. Pretty keen to bet, actually, throughout the course of the day. I think I'll be betting into the 2-year-old race to Open Proceedings is pretty good. There's a very... You should go watch the trial of Noons, who's currently around $3.40 favourite. Go watch her trial. They don't win trials much easier. She only just won, but Sean O'Donnell gets halfway down the straight, levels up to and just does this a couple of times. Oh, I got this covered. Yeah, got that one covered. Yeah, I urge you, anyone watching out there, go watch the trial of Noons before the 2-year-old race tomorrow. Second race, I think there's a bet. The third race I've already spoken about. We'll pass a couple there, and then looking forward to the Lestier as well. Pike jumps off Ace Fire. We've picked the ride up on Ace Fire, and Roy's got him absolutely flying. So looking forward to that race. There looks another horse I'll be backing. That race 7 we've spoken about. Race 8 is the Kingston Town we've spoken about, and we'll end up with a bet in race 9 as well. So full preview on racingbet.com.au for Ascot. Trent, you've got your full Pakenham preview up already, I think.
Yep. All up,
and if
so
Rosehill goes ahead, Billy will have every race there covered as well on racingbet.com.au. Okay, thanks to Winners Bet for sponsoring this week's episode, and we'll be back to preview all the action next weekend. We'll be back on Thursday night, I think, next week, Trent. I'm losing track of days here, but there's plenty happening. All right, we'll see you then.